Welcome to this special Italian wine podcast broadcast. This episode is a recording off Clubhouse, the popular drop-in audio chat. This Clubhouse session was taken from the Wine Business Club and Italian Wine Club. Listen in as wine lovers and experts alike engage in some great conversation on a range of topics in wine. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinepodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. And remember to subscribe and rate our show wherever you tune in.
Okay, hello everybody. My name's Stevie Kim, and this is Italian Wine Club on Clubhouse today. It's been kind of a crazy day around here. I almost didn't make it, but I knew Joy and Laika, they were both on standby because we had kind of a marathon. I've been in this podcast booth since I guess 1:30 today. So it's been a long recording day, but very, very happy to be here today because this is the Ambassador's Corner. Today will be the fireside chat with Patrick Uccelli. Very, very excited to just relax, grab my wine, and listen to you guys. Of course, it's all about an ambassador, Italian wine ambassador. In our case today is Andrea Eby. Ciao, Andrea.
Ciao, Stevie.
So Andrea is from California. Oh my God, I'm so jealous. I'm just reading that you had a distinction from your WSET diploma program. And I cannot believe that. I've barely just started. And she was awarded the Prowein Scholarship in recognition of her academic achievements in 2017. She leads the Italian Wine Scholar Guild, specializing in Italy, as well as the Italian Wine Ambassador from Vinitaly International Academy. Andrea, I won't be asking you any questions today because I can't hear you. I don't know what is going on.
No worries, Stevie.
And she's a SOM instructor with Canadian Association Professional Sommelier. So I'm just going to have you take away. Maybe, Andrea, before you start, would you mind just telling us why you've chosen Patrick Uccelli as your favorite wine producer, and of course, the learning objectives?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Thanks for the introduction, Stevie. Yes. So why did I choose Patrick? So they asked me, to choose a favorite producer, and I'm pretty sure I could never choose one favorite producer, but I appreciate many different producers for many different reasons. And I chose Patrick for this interview because I felt that he could really bring an interesting perspective to the discussion and probably introduce our listeners to his unique philosophy and some of the innovations that he's implementing in his vineyards and in his whole sort of farm that he is developing and growing in Alto Adige. So that's a lot of the reasons that I chose to chat with Patrick today. I'm hoping by the time the interview is over that everybody will have maybe a better idea of what peewee grape varieties are, maybe something that's new to some people. Also to have an understanding of the viticultural and cultural challenges facing Alto Adige in the face of climate change and trying to implement more sustainable practices. Also, Patrick has a very unique approach to labeling his wines that I'd love everybody to learn about. And just kind of be aware of some of the new projects that Patrick is working on in his winery. And then, one of the questions I was asked is, how did I discover the wines of Dornach? And in my kind of former role as a buyer for a wine store here in Canada, I used to work closely with Classica International, which is an Italian-based distribution company that really specializes in sustainably produced wines. And their European rep had so much respect and passion for Patrick's approach that I agreed finally to taste the wines. And I was hooked at that point too, just not only on the wines themselves, but just on Patrick's whole philosophy and approach to viticulture. So I'll tell you a little bit about Patrick and then I'll start right in on the questions. So Patrick Uccelli was born in Bolzano in 1974. He grew up in the city, but left the city for good in 1995. And in doing so, left behind his studies in medicine, which he didn't finish, but he started, and also philosophy that he studied in Austria as well. He really discovered his love for wine around the year 2000, and he since then has devoted himself to studying enology and viticulture. He achieved 2 degrees, one in Italy and one in Geisenheim in Germany, and started his journey into the world of wine. He has worked in Trentino, Germany, Alto Adige, Sicily, Tunisia, Apulia, and then went back to the small family business in Salorno in Alto Adige. And since 2008, he's been producing wines in the company, which he, together with his family, have been developing from year to year according to the guidelines of biodynamic farming. So, Patrick, maybe you could explain to everybody kind of what inspired you to sort of shift gears in your life and, move from studying medicine and philosophy to this world of wine.
Hi, hello to all. Thank you very much for this invitation. I'm really happy. I'm a little bit excited because English it's not so my mother language, but hopefully we will manage it in a good way. So, what has inspired me? Yeah, I think there is a lot of answers in one answer. I think in first one of yes, one of the things that inspire me, or yeah, it gets hand in hand. It's just a way to observe my reality, the reality that surrounds me. Okay, and of course, I think my philosophy studies they helps me to ask myself why things are going in this way, or why the reality is like this. Okay, and to find some answers in real life, or the to for me to find some answers to this kind of questions was there was only in the nature you can find this kind, or I was able to find some kinds of answers on these questions only in the nature. And so the only thing, or that was the way back to the earth. That's because you can observe some yeah, how to say it properly. You will I'm able, when I'm in the field, when I'm out in the nature, or when I'm out in the vineyard, I can observe some things that are happen. Okay, and there are some rules that you can observe, and that helps me to understand the reality in that I live. I don't know if it's clear enough. Okay, but that's the approach.
Okay, so did you always, from sort of the beginning of your business, did you start implementing biodynamic practices right away, or was it a conversion?
No, it was when I've started this business. It was 2008. The vineyards and the estate, it's quite older. Okay, it's because it's mentioned for the first time in 1288. So we are talking about 800 years ago. But when I've started to make my own business, I have some notice about Rudolf Steiner, and I noticed about who some things are connected in our reality. And so the only way to get into agriculture was by following the biodynamic rules. But I have to say the truth. For us, or for me, especially for me, it's not like a Bible. Okay, there are there are really inspiring ideas and inputs in biodynamic farming. But I don't want to follow blindless. Okay, that's for me. It's important to say it loud and clear.
Okay. So what are some of the biggest challenges that you see kind of facing sustainable agriculture, viticulture in Alto Adige?
So, especially in Alto Adige, I think there is a climate questions. So we have more than 1,000 liters rainfall during the year, And you have to consider that the mostly part it's coming during vegetative fast. That means that we have to be really careful with the defense or when we have to take care against fungus disease. Okay, we have peronospora, we have some oidium, some mildew. Okay, and so we have to take care of that in a really focused way. Okay, there is no errors allowed because otherwise you don't want to get any grapes. And so that's what's the first one.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Another point could be the mentality.
Okay.
Because we have good prices for wine grapes. We have good prices for wine here in Alto Adige. That means the people they have success also in an economical way. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
when you have success in an economical way, the way of thinking, it's not easy to rebuild. I don't know. It's if it's the right word to describe that process. But the people say, yeah, we are successful. Why we have to change? Okay,
So there's
and
a reluctance to change because things
mm,
seem to be working the way they are. So why would
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
disrupt
That
that?
that's exactly the point. Okay,
Okay.
because when you are successful, why you have to change?
Right.
That's yeah.
And so, but you see it's successful right now, but you have the sort of
Yeah,
foresight to see that it's not a long-term success in terms of, we're competing against climate change and we have to adapt to those sort of things. So,
yeah. We think that's the point, and yeah, we think that's the point, or we know that's the point.
right.
So yeah, uh, yeah. That's why we are really yeah, our we are really noi siamo convinti, or we have a deep, we are deeply
Committed to.
committed that the agriculture, also in this case viticulture, must catch CO2. We have be a part of the solution of the problem and not a part of the problem.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, no.
and that must be changed in that it's the point that must change. Agriculture, in this case viticulture, must be a part of the solution to the CO2 problem.
And do you have even a small group of producers that are working together in your region, or is it fairly fragmented?
There is okay. We are a small group. It could be. It depends on which. There is a small group, but as a lot of viticulturist or producer, every producer has a strong character, and so we can say
Mhm.
it. Uh, Not everyone think together,
Right.
because we are really, really. There are some big egos. So, me too. So we have to say the truth. So maybe I'm not so open for, but I think it's just a question of time. It
Yeah.
it, it takes time because everyone it's still discovering what's going on, and after this process, I think we will ready for a new sociality, and but
Mhm.
in this process we are really fixed on ourselves to check what's going on, what can we do for all the things for catch CO2 to get sustainable, more sustainability, and so on. So in this moment, I think everyone it's really focused on his own. Okay, but
Okay.
in a couple of years, I'm sure that we could be a great team. Yeah.
Okay. So, what are some of the things that you are doing on your farm to combat CO2? And I speak of a farm because it's not just a monoculture where you are. You're not just growing grapes. You are growing other things. So, could you tell listeners a little bit more about that kind of holistic approach to farming that you have?
Yeah, that's the point. Yes, we are talking about farming and not only viticulture. That could be the first, not the key, but the first step to a deeper understanding of what we are doing here. Okay, we are improving our estate, and we think our estate as something organic. That means you need more and more different organs. Okay, and so we don't develop only the plants, but we developing also the animals. Okay, and that helps us to increase the organic sostanza, the organic substance, or can we
Substance.
say
Yep.
organ?
Yep.
Okay, sostanza organica, and and so we try to organize our farm in this way. So we have, it depends on the seasons. We have between 10 and 25 sheeps here in the farm, 4, 5 goats. We have a cow, a calf. Okay, of course, we have some pigs, we have chickens, we have rabbits. Okay, we have some donkeys because it's fun and it helps our spirit to develop, because all the types of relationships that you can improve, that helps to improve your spirit. I don't know if it's clear enough what we are doing
I,
here, and
I
they are
think I
all
understand. Yeah.
yeah, they are all necessary for our developing, but not only in terms of organic substances or CO2 to catching CO2, but also, and that's also one of the most important point, to develop ourselves. That also a key to understand our work here. We do all these things for the environment, for to catch CO2, to increase organic substances, but we do in also to increase ourself.
Okay. To sort of grow yourselves and to
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So in the vineyards, you are experimenting and using some peewee grape varieties.
Mhm.
Could
Okay.
you
Yes.
explain what peewees are?
Yes. I try to do it really quick and fast. Okay. PB, it's the acronym for a really hard German word, Pilzwiderstandsfähige Rebsorten. That means there are grape varieties that would be resistant against fungus disease. Okay, and especially in this case, we are talking about Peronospora and Oidium. Okay, they are
Okay.
the two biggest disease that we have here in Europe. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and for these two diseases, when you work organic, it's necessary to treat the wines with copper and sulfur. Okay,
Right.
just to let you understand, when you have Pinot Noir or Pinot Blanc or another classic variety, we have to cover them, because organic works with to covering the plant
Right.
and not from the inside, right? We cover the plant with copper or sulfur or both against this fungus. Okay, and that we have to do it here in Alto Adige. We do it between 7, 8, and 14, 15 times. Okay, it depends on the season and how much it's raining and so on, so on. With PV varieties, they are breeded in field, and that's a point that we have to give attention in the future. They are breeded in field. That means that someone is breeding some Asian or American vitis genre with vitis vinifera genre. Okay, they put the salmon. It means the seed. Okay,
Yep. They
impollination. Well,
yes.
impollinazione. Exactly.
Yeah. They
Um,
pollinate. They
yeah,
pollinate.
they pollinate exactly some wild. Let me say in this way, wild vitis genre with the classy with the vitis vinifera, and that's why we will try to get the resistance character, because the wild vitis genera are basically resistant against this fungus disease, but also the characters of the wine grapes of the domestic vitis, the vitis vinifera, Merlot or Riesling, whatever. Okay, right. So they pollinate the wild with the domestic vinifera. So they started. So more or less, the first works started 100 years ago, but the really serious works, it's 15, 16 years ago. Okay. So now we have the first generation of PV, and they are still going on because you are still pollinating. Pollinating.
Yeah.
Okay, the varieties, and so the varieties are still going on, and so we have the 2.0 and so on. So we have now 30, 40, 50 different varieties, and they don't need also that the example of Souvenir Gris or Lauro or this or Prior, these varieties that we have planted here, they don't need, or only in the hardest year they get 1 or 2 sulfur treatments. Otherwise, I make zero treatments, and that's really interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, because it's not just the fact that you're not spraying with copper and sulfur, but it's also less water being put onto the vineyards,
Mm-hmm.
less compaction through the tractors, so less CO2 emissions. So it's not just the initial treatment. There's lots of impacts kind of down the line. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you find that the more recent kind of generations of the Peewee grapes are the flavors getting kind of closer to what many people would consider sort of traditional wine flavors? Because that's one of the, I think some consumers are reluctant to embrace Peewee varieties because they maybe taste different, or they think they're going to taste quite different than.
It also, in fact, as every new variety or every new variety that you have tasted, it's a new flavor, of course. So so that's the first impact. Okay, but I think when we talk about reluctance, I think it's more mental,
Mentality?
or it's just mentality, because that gives you a sort of, when you okay, Merlot, and you know how more or less Merlot has to taste, or Pinot Noir, and
Right.
and you feel at home. When you have to reconsider flavors or your impression and so on, and the classy wine lover, I think it's not so open as he is seeing himself. I don't know if it's
Yes.
okay.
I think I understand.
He said, I'm open for new wines. I'm looking for new wines. When they have new wines in the glass, so they are not so open as they means. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think it could be something for the new generation, because they would be, I think, more interested in sustainability.
Yeah.
That's in because they can reconsider the flavor, because the wines are, in fact, the wines are good. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. They're not coming to the table with all these
No,
preconceived notions.
exactly. There
Yeah.
are no foxy tones. No way. Okay, they're really good.
Yeah.
But something is going on in the head of the wine lovers. Okay,
Right.
because if I do a blind tasting here in the estate, I can read it in the face. They like the wine, but when I discover and I explain him that they are drinking PV now, I see some doubts are starting in his face. And when they not all, a lot of people, they are really open and say, okay, I buy this wine because it's good, and that's enough.
Right.
But the wine lover who is saying, I'm an expert, the experts, they have more difficulty to get to open in this way, to get opened in this way.
Okay. So
They took the Pinot Noir because it's
comfortable.
that, yeah, that it's comfortable. Yes, that's the point. Thank you very much, Andrea.
So which grape varieties are you working with right now? You have Pinot Noir, you have
Oh, we have the classy. Okay, we have Pinot Noir, Pinot Blanc, Pinot Gris, Pinot Chardonnay, Gewürztraminer, and Manzoni Bianco or Incrocio Manzoni. It's a breed between Pinot Blanc and Rhine Riesling.
great.
And then, yeah, that's the Vitis vinifera varieties. And then we have PVs like Bronner,
Okay.
Solaris, Cabernet Blanc, Souvenir Gris, Prior, Regent, Cabernet Cortis, Cabernet Cantor. We have a lot. Yeah, we have
Lots.
white, and red, and we
Okay.
produce three different wine. We do a white, a red, and an orange.
Okay. And are you planning on what is kind of the split in the vineyards between the peewees and the traditional grape varieties in terms of acreage or hectares devoted to each?
So at the moment, because we have a small estate, or there it's not so small for Alto Adige rules, but it's
Right.
small for the rest of the world. Okay, so we work 7 hectares, and we have more than 1 hectares with PV.
Okay.
And from 2013, all the new vineyards that we have planted was PV.
Okay. So you're definitely committed to peewees and moving in that direction.
I think it's my wife Carolina said it's the future, and I will try to say it a little bit more as a PV. It's really strumento. It's something that could us help us for a
Yeah.
really sustainable agriculture. Okay, I don't know if it's the future because it's not easy to define what's the future, but it could be a good thing for
Right.
a good future. That's for sure.
At least a component perhaps of the future, something that's
Yeah.
at least
Mhm.
going to play a role in the future of it. So you have a very interesting, I'll call it interesting, approach to labeling your wines.
Yeah.
Maybe you can explain a little bit about how you've chosen to label them, and then we can kind of talk about how the market has reacted to those labels. I think
Okay.
your labels are really, to me, a real testament to just your commitment to your approach and to your philosophy. Because it would be much easier to label your wines a different way, but you've really committed to this. So I think people will be interested in what it is.
Yeah, so a good friend of mine, they asked me one day, so Patrick, in a world where everyone try to get to the customer, to let them an easy life, or to not to yeah to be easy to understand, you made a step in the opposite direction. Okay, and I say, okay, it's true. It's true. Yeah, our labels, they have two different informations. Okay, we
Okay.
have a graphic part. Okay, there could be some colored dots or some historical catastrophe maps or some colored watermarks. So these elements gives you the information of what's inside the bottle. Okay, which wine type. Okay, the graphic shows you which wine type, which wine profile is in the bottle. Okay,
Okay.
and then you will recognize on the label, yeah, a big number. Okay, and the number, it's the progressing of the bottling. Reihenfolge, ordine di bottigliamento. It's
The order in which the wines were produced
were
or
were produced or were bottled.
bottled.
Okay,
Yeah.
exactly. We started with this new idea of labeling 2019. Okay, so the first wine that we have bottled 2019, they get his graphic part, and then he gets the number one. The second one that we have bottled, the number two, number three. So until 2021, we arrived to up to 26. And next year we will move on to 27, 28. So in fact, there is a lot of maisons also in the Champagne. You have to think
Right.
Jackson is also numbering the cuvées and so on. So it's nothing new, okay?
No.
But the idea was to sottolineare, to underline,
Right.
can we say underline? Okay.
Yeah.
The idea that wine, it's a cultural product, of course, but it's also an agricultural product. And for me, it's more important, the agricultural value of wines. And if there is the thing that will characterize the agricultural product is that it's unique, or it's the unicity,
Yep.
and the fact that you can repeat it. And so in fact, when you have drink wine number 7, it's over, and there will be never be a wine like 7 or 25 or 200. When it's done, and it's just to underline this idea of unicity of the agricultural product, because logistics. So the logistic and the trade allows you to get some tomatoes or cucumbers or whatever every time in your supermarket, but it's unreal. Who is growing tomatoes knows that you have just 2 months, maybe 3 months. So here in Alto Adige, 2 months with tomatoes. Then it's over.
Right.
So okay, and it's just to let the people think about that. Okay,
Okay.
that's the idea behind, to try to connect the people to the unicity, to the
Yeah. To
seasonality,
the seasonality
uh,
of the product.
agricultural product, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So do you put the vintage on there as well, or just the number of the
No,
bottle?
no. Yeah, in front you will find this both information about the wine profile and the number, and behind on the back label, you, because it's the legal label,
Right.
I have to put the variety and also the vintage, of course.
Okay. So you were talking about like the kind of the pictorial aspect of the graphic aspect. So with the Peewee grape varieties, for instance, they would have, is it the dot for the Peewees, or it's the watermark?
No, for the PV it's the watermark.
Yeah, the
For the PV it's the
watermark,
watermark, and the dot are for the vin soif.
the
So
Vinsoir.
vini da
Okay.
sete. Yeah. Uh-huh.
See. And then the map are the more the historical, the older vineyards. Is that how it
There
works?
are for the selection. There are wine. There are things for aging. You can put it in your cellar, and then you can took it out after a couple of years.
So
So it's
what?
more so reserva style.
Okay, so I'm sure there are some sommeliers, etc., that are cursing your name as they're trying to figure out how to write your wines in their wine lists.
Yeah.
But it keeps it entertaining.
Yeah.
um, so, can you tell us a little bit about your kind of winemaking philosophy? What your approach is in the cellar?
Oh, okay. In the cellar, it's really easy. Okay, there it's yeah. Now we prefer. Oh, I will say it in this way. Uh, we we use less technology, but a lot of technique. Okay,
Yes.
so we have a lot of different winemaking techniques. Okay,
Okay.
and that starts with in the vineyards, when we choose to pick the grapes with different maturities, with a different scale of maturity.
Okay.
Okay, we start with a little bit some fresher maturity, then with a middle maturity, or with a late maturity. Okay, and then we bring in the cellar the grapes, we crush it or we press it or whatever. It depends. So we made white or red. We don't use any sulfites. We don't use selected yeast. We don't make any fining or clarification. If it's really necessary, we will filter the wine. Otherwise, we don't filter the wine. It depends on the cloudness, on the cloud, yeah, on how
Cloudiness.
much
Yeah.
cloudy, yeah, on the cloudiness of the wines. And we put a little bit of sulfites just before the filling.
Okay.
So it's a really conservative I think it's a really, we say in Italian, non interventista.
Yeah.
Okay,
A
this way.
non-interventionist approach.
Not interventionist. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
because otherwise it doesn't make sense all the work outside.
Right.
Yeah. When we change the when we change the structure, when we change the matrix of the wines in the cellar, it doesn't make sense to all the approach outside in the vineyards on the field. So for us, it's the filo rosso, the red.
Yeah, the right philosophy. It's a
Yeah,
continuation of that
yeah.
philosophy.
It's a
Yeah.
continuation of that we are doing outside. We doing also in the cellar, of course.
Exactly. I want to give a few minutes to have everybody learn about your kind of new project that you're working on. I've been watching the progress of the new cellar being built on Instagram. So if anybody wants to check that out, Patrick's always updating kind of the next development in the new cellar that they're constructing. So can you tell us a little bit about why you decided to do that project, and something to do with, because you were also going to be having some food and wine kind of
Mhm.
activities there eventually. So you want to
Yeah.
explain a bit about that?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are building our new cellar, and that's in first because the old cellar. Yeah, it's easy. It's not my property, so it's my own, and I'm near to 50. I think it's no more a hobby. I
Right.
think now I can say I'm a professional, and so I have to start to do it in a professional way. Okay, and so we have decided to build our own cellar on our place, and when we have think about the cellar, it was clear that we will not only produce wine because we are deeply convinced that a farm or an estate like our, it must be not only a place of where you grow, so of cultivation, but it must be also a place of culture. Okay, so that can
Mhm.
you recognize the difference? Okay, and so we will have a place called Bush and Shank in Alto Adige. It means like agriturismo, but not where you can sleep, only where
Right.
you can eat. Okay, and that we will open it two times during the season, in the spring and in fall, and of course a shop, but with a nice balcony, with a nice place where the people can also stay chilled and drink a glass of wine. Okay, so we have this different situation, and also a place where if someone would offer, I don't know, some yoga hours or a nice moment of like a
Meditation.
seminar or meditation, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point. The farm has to be a point where culture grows.
Okay. So when do you plan to have the new cellar completed?
So yeah, that's yeah. In the global supply, in the globally chain supply, there is there we see a lot of delays, and the prices are going up in a really hard way. But
Yeah.
if we are really lucky, and if we are and everything goes well, we will open the new cellar and made the new vintage in the new cellar 2022. And if we are really able, we will open the shop and the balcony and the terrace in July 2022.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and then let's see. Then it takes a little bit more for the Buschenschank, for the agriturismo. I think because we have three little
Yeah.
kids. Sorry,
Children. Yeah. Three
yeah,
three young
children.
children.
Yeah, the big one, the older one, it's 5.5. The middle one, it's 3.5, and the little, it's 1.5. So we have to breathe a little bit.
Yes. So
but
by
but we are yeah but we are preparing everything. We are yeah, and maybe in 2 years, 2.5 years, we will start also with agriturismo.
Okay, so yes, so by 2023, the
Mhm.
VIA
That
ambassadors
could be,
we'll be
yeah.
able to go on a fare una gita scolastica to Patrick.
That would be
Um,
great.
yes. So is that something that you do see more producers in Alto Adige embracing, like the tourism kind of side of things?
Yes, they do, but we are also one of one of important part in the tourism. So the wine, it's an attraction. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
an attraction also. So consider that Alto Adige has, yeah, okay, now we have to consider COVID situation, okay,
Right.
but
Well, that was my next
more,
question. So yes, you can talk
yeah,
about COVID.
yeah, more or less, Alto Adige has 33 millions per notte. It means when people staying for a night here,
Okay.
okay, so
Guests.
more or less like Venice. Okay, there is
Okay.
a lot
Wow.
of people. Okay,
Yes.
and so the winery, wine culture, there is a lot of things for wine lovers here. We are really good in that. Okay, our marketing destination marketing institute, it's really good in that, and so a lot of the tourists comes for the wine, and that's why a lot of wow, the bigger one producer, they are perfectly built for tourists also, and the little one like we are slowly trying to also to get an offer for wine tourism, because it's
Okay.
important. Mhm. Yeah,
Yes.
because it doesn't make sense. Okay, it's great to have our wines in New York, in London, in Australia, in St. Petersburg or Moscow. Great, but the greatest place where you can drink the wine, it's here where the wines grow.
Right. Right.
And that's why we are really happy to bring out the wine, but we are also happy when the people comes here and get an idea, get the feeling, can really touch with his hand where the things are growing and who is behind also.
Exactly. Yes. No, it definitely makes for an experience you don't forget, and
Hmm.
you're forever sort of emotionally attached to those wines if you've had an opportunity to drink them where they come from and to share them with the people that make them. I think it's certainly an experience that many people are hoping to have. So, can you tell us a little bit about how COVID has changed your business?
Yeah. So in fact, I can say, yeah, it depends on which and on which level or on which
Aspect of the
uh,
business, or
aspect of the business. Yeah, in terms of economy, I we grow. Our best year was before COVID. Okay, was
okay,
2019. We
okay,
was able to grow 2020 and 2021. We will grow really in a good way more than 2020.
really,
So
okay.
yeah, in an economical way, we don't have yeah, maybe you will see it with the order. Okay, during the lockdown and the last winter,
Hmm.
there was no order, of course, because all the restaurants and so on was closed, and so
Yeah,
there was no order. But when they started, it was
it was
wow,
like
amazing.
a flood of
Yeah,
orders.
yeah, yeah. It
Well,
was
that's
really
good.
amazing. Okay,
Ec-
and but I think the mostly of our producer here, nobody said, or the guys
Yeah.
with the talking, they nobody said, oh, I'm unhappy. Everybody of the guys that I've talked was happy with the season. So
Okay. Good.
it was a good season for all. Okay.
Okay.
And so in terms of economy, I don't. I think it comes in the next years
Okay.
because all this price aumenti di prezzo, this price, yeah, or
Depends on,
the gasoline,
yeah,
all the material, all the things are electricity, whatever. They are going up. Okay,
yeah.
and I think we will see something in the next years
Okay.
because we call it capacità di acquisto. The yeah, when when you get $2,000 in month and your fixed costs
Right.
are going up to, I don't
Yes.
know,
The
yeah,
the cost of
okay,
living, the cost of doing business is increasing,
yeah, yeah.
but the money coming in is not necessarily, so it's like you have, as a producer, you need to choose, do you charge more for your wine? Can the market handle
Exactly.
that
Then here,
increase?
here are the questions for the
Yeah.
future because I have to now with the 1st of January, I have to reconsider to make some
Adjustment.
price price adjustment. Let's see what happens. But
Yeah.
I can't do it in another way.
No, exactly.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah,
You're kind
after
of,
5 years, it's time to make some adjustment. I can't stay without. Yeah,
no, it's not
Uh,
sustainable.
yeah.
Sustainability is not just about viticulture, it's also about business,
It's
right?
exactly. It's also
Yeah,
in economical terms, of
yeah,
course. That is. Yeah,
yeah,
that's. I
exactly.
agree.
Okay, so maybe, Laika, should I see if anybody has some questions? If anybody has a question you'd like to ask Patrick, you can raise your hand and I can try and bring you up to the stage. I'm not sure if anybody does. I don't see any hands up yet.
Hi, just quickly step in here.
Yeah.
So I'm not Stevie.
No, you don't sound like Stevie.
No, I know. Stevie has run away for a short moment. She was right back. But yeah, no, I was going to say with respect to questions, I don't see anybody raising their hand at the moment. But if anybody does have any questions, you can always forward them to info@italianwinepodcast.com, or
Okay.
you can also just message Laika on her Instagram, or the Italian at Ita Wine Podcast Instagram, because sometimes people have questions afterwards or they're too shy to speak up while it's live. So
Okay,
um,
that's great. Thank you for letting
yeah.
us know. So I have a couple more questions for Patrick anyway, so I can keep asking a few things. And if anybody does have something that they think of, please just raise your hand and we'll bring you up to the stage. So I guess my next question for you, Patrick, is sort of like, what's next for you and Katerina at the winery? What is the next project after the cellar? Or are you just focusing on that?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know because at the moment all the attention are focused to doing great wines, try to have really healthy soils, and to being really focused on the new cellar. But I'm an Aries, and so I think when the water will be calm again, then some new project will start because yeah, that's my nature. So at at the moment I'm really focused and I don't have so I have some things what's going on in my head, but maybe it could be something interesting for you to know that together with some other producer we are coaching some people. They are requesting
Okay.
asilo politico. I don't know. Some immigrants, they are asking for asilo politico.
Yeah, political asylum. So they're asylum.
Exactly.
They're, okay.
And the project, it's a project financed by the European Community,
Okay.
and we will try to train these immigrants to get co-workers for vineyard worker. That's why we are convinced that it's necessary they get the language so they can learn Italian and German, and they go to make some stages in our wineries, in our vineyards. Yeah, so that it's a point that we can work out in the future to be social against who has not the same opportunity in life, and that's what we are doing here. That maybe could be interesting of to. It's not a new project, but we can work it out, or to yeah.
So
And
yeah, no, I was going to say I think it's a great topic for people to be aware of, because it's something that I think a lot of people really would support such an initiative. So is there somewhere that people can learn more about that project, or
if I'm not, yeah, I think Valerie from she's writing for
for Trink?
Trink,
Okay,
exactly, and
Valerie Cavalala.
he
Yep.
exactly he writes an article in English, and
Yeah.
that's maybe could be an interesting article about what's going on here with this producer group, and together with this association La Strada and this
Okay.
Vite project, and that could be a great article
Absolutely.
to get an idea what we are doing here in this yeah.
So again, it's that sort of holistic approach to sustainability. It's the social aspects.
It's yeah, because
And-
that's social responsibility. Yeah, we because we are lucky on this side of the world, and there
yes,
is a lot of people they needs a hand, and
absolutely.
yeah, and when we can help them to get the language, because they come in Alto Adige. We speak Italian and German. So we do the lesson in German and Italian. And so they get a language, they get the opportunity to come out of the city,
Right.
because normally, yeah, in the city, when you get a work, it's good. Otherwise, maybe you will
Struggle.
find, yeah, you will struggle. But if you are on the land, it means outside of the city, there is a totally different people. There is
Yeah.
a totally different reality day by day, and maybe they get other chances to grow up in life, or yeah, to yeah.
To have, yeah, to learn some skills and to
Yeah.
have
Mhm.
perhaps a different path for their lives.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's the point. Yeah, and that's one. And the second, it's hopefully we will be able to get some young people in agriculture, but that could be also a problem, because there is all the people they wants to get, I don't know, in the city.
Yeah.
The people wants to be lowers, avvocati,
Lawyers, doctors.
or I don't know, the managers, or social media, or influencer. I don't know but but
Farmers.
agriculture, doing agriculture could be really fulfilling,
Right. Right. But it's a
and
challenge to
so
attract people
it's
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we will build a new cellar. We will try to bring here the people, because we will show that okay, it's hard work. Yeah, it's hard work, but it's a nice hard work.
Yes, it's a beautiful, you have a beautiful place, that's for sure. It's a
Yeah,
little kind of oasis, definitely to visit. And I should probably close things up really soon, because I know Stevie likes to close the room on time. So maybe
yeah.
I'll wrap up here, but thank you so much, Patrick, for taking the time to chat with us. And I know English is not your first preference for language, but I think you're too hard on yourself. I think you do fantastic. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Thank you,
Wonderful. That
Andrea.
was a fantastic
interview, or I really enjoyed that, and I actually was here for all of it. I just
good.
switched seats. So yeah, this was
Excellent.
fantastic. It will go up on the podcast, Italian Wine Podcast, in the next few weeks.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm
All
going
right.
to close the room. Let me
Well,
just
thank you so much for the invite.
Laika, are you there? I don't know if she's there or if
Okay.
she's going to say anything. She's there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm here actually. I'm here with
Do you
you.
want to just tell us what the next
Yes,
Clubhouse is going
okay.
to be?
Yeah, so it's gonna be Isabella Odero will be interviewed by Amy Ezrin. That's gonna be Thursday next week, so watch out for that.
Okay, wonderful. Well, everybody have a great evening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Okay, ciao.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Sniff, sip, sip, and spit. Once again, here we go.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, chin chin. Hi guys, I'm Joy Livingston and I am the producer of the Italian Wine Podcast. Thank you for listening. We are the only wine podcast that has been doing a daily show since the pandemic began. This is a labor of love and we are committed to bringing you free content every day. Of course, this takes time and effort, not to mention the cost of equipment, production, and editing. We would be grateful for your donations, suggestions, requests, and ideas. For more information on how to get in touch, go to ItalianWinePodcast.com.